If you're considering making a move to Dunn, North Carolina, I put together a list of the top 8 things that I think you need to know before you make that decision. Along the way, I'm going to try to share as much as I know about these areas and not just the pleasant things. Now, let's get started on the top 8 things that I think you need to know before you move to Dunn, North Carolina. First on the list is cost of living. So overall, Harnett County offers very reasonable cost of living. Median home price around the area is about $250,000, which is significantly below what you would find up in the Raleigh-Durham area. If you're looking to rent in the area, you should expect rent for a 2-bedroom to be anywhere between $800 and $1,200 a month. Now with $250,000 home prices, that's obviously much more reasonable compared to Raleigh. However, it is still significantly higher than in prior years, but the Harnett County area has always had a pretty strong housing market, and that hasn't changed. If you're considering a move to the area, I want to introduce you to my home buyer's guide. Typically, this is only reserved for my personal clients, but if you follow the link in the description below, I'll send you a copy right now, no contract needed. Follow the link in the description below and I'll send it right over to you. Number 2, employment opportunities. So around the Dunn area, there's a lot of opportunity for manufacturing jobs, healthcare, and education. Major employers in the area, of course, the hospital system, Campbell University, and there's a couple big manufacturers that also have a relatively large footprint out in Harnett County. Now, of course, you're not just limited to Dunn. If you work in a more specialized field and you need to go to a larger city, you obviously have access up into the Raleigh-Durham area and down into Fayetteville. So that may open up a lot of employment opportunities. My advice to everybody is before you make a decision to move to the area, just research these job markets. Every area is kind of different and every area has different industries that are more prevalent. So find the area that best suits the line of work that you're in. Next up is climate and weather. So of course we're in the south, so it's going to get hot and it's going to get humid in the summer. Dunn is a subtropical climate, so summer times can be brutal, but your winters are going to be relatively mild. You may get an occasional dusting of snow, but that's a once or twice a year noteworthy event. During the summer, you're mainly going to be in the 80s and 90s. Of course, you'll have a couple days to touch 100. In the winter, the average temperature is in the 40s. So depending upon where you're coming from, that may be a lot more comfortable than what you're used to. About a decade ago up in Raleigh, there was a snowstorm, and there's this famous photo that came out of it of cars scattered all over the highway on fire and just total chaos from a small snowstorm. Just know that's not the norm, but when it snows, the roads get messy around here. Next up is the community and the lifestyle. Now, like I've mentioned, Dunn is a very rural area. Harnett County itself is very rural. So around the town of Dunn, you have a nice little downtown and there's community events that you can go to. But just know that if you want to go to the major cities like Raleigh or Fayetteville, or you want to go to another town within Harnett County, it's going to be a drive between them. Now, Dunn has a very small town charm to it. So there's restaurants and businesses downtown and bars that you can go and visit. So if you're looking for that slower pace lifestyle, Dunn may be a good choice for you. Next up, the education system. So with Dunn being part of Harnett County, the school district is Harnett County School District. Now, there's a couple different schools around town, so depending upon where exactly you are looking at a house, you may wind up in a different particular school. Now, for higher education, you can obviously go up to Raleigh and you have Duke, UNC, Meredith College, NC State. There's a whole other handful of them that I'm not mentioning here. And then right in Harnett County, you have Campbell University. So for higher education, you have some of the best choices in the country out in this part. Next up is healthcare facilities. So Dunn itself is served by Betsy Johnson Hospital. You're going to find an emergency room there, and all the typical outpatient and testing services that you would find at a hospital. Now, there's a lot of other outpatient services around the area, but just know if you're looking for specialized healthcare, you may need to go up to the Raleigh area to one of the university hospitals. Obviously, having access to healthcare is big for the residents of an area, so just know you're well taken care of on that front. So now this is an important one. A lot of people move to Harnett County looking for a lower cost of living, and then they go and commute up into the Raleigh area. Generally, this is fine, but just know that there's a lot of people commuting in and out of the area every day, so during rush hour, you can run into congestion. My suggestion for anyone who is going to commute from this area is to, during peak hours, take the drive, see what it feels like, and see if it's a daily commute that you can deal with. Now, Dunn gives you access to I-95, so if you're headed over longer distances up and down the East Coast, that could be a huge benefit for you. You literally drive over to the side of town and get on the ramp for I-95. Again, if you're going to commute, my advice to you is just to explore the road system, explore the routes, and figure out if it is something that's viable for you or not. If it's not the right town for you, there are towns in Harnett County that are closer up towards Raleigh, so those could be good alternatives for you. Last but not least is the local culture. So despite being a small town, Dunn is the most populous town in all of Harnett County. So with that being said, there's a lot of local activities that go on around the Dunn area that you can participate in. Now, Dunn has its Christmas parade and its seasonal events and its festivals. Of course, there's always pop-ups going on in town where vendors set up and sell their wares. You also have your farmers markets that go on a regular basis, so that's really nice to have access to. So just know, it's a rural area. You may not have access to each and every entertainment option that you want, but there is plenty to do if you're paying attention. So there you have it, the top 8 things that I think you should know about Dunn before moving to the area. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely take a look at this one too. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future updates that I'll be putting out.